This started out as a birthday video when I turned 40. And a friend of mine who was an editor said that he would put this together for me and just, you know, just bring whatever I had over to him. And I had like 6 boxes of VHS tapes from like my child, and he was like, what the hell is all that? I said, well, there's a lot of stuff, you know. He goes, I think I need some help. I think you better help me. So I had no idea that it would become this, but we did a little screening, and I live in LA and I have a lot of filmmaker friends. And they were like, oh my God, it's a short film. You got to change it, take out the birthday salutations, and you know. So this is the first screening, actually. So since then, so I'm so glad you guys liked it. I really didn't know what to expect. So you know. So any questions? And I am David Dupre, by the way. And it's kind of it was put in there just because. I felt weird putting my name in there, and since the film was about me, and I always, you know, that was probably the hardest part about making the film, was I didn't want it to come across as, it was a little bit easier because I was separated from the impersonation stuff, and that was a really long time ago, so I was a little bit more objective and almost third person with that. But I just never really wanted it to come across as like this braggadocious kind of egotistical thing. So I decided to put David Dupre, and David Dupre was actually my assistant and manager that used to call and get the gigs. And so I thought it would be kind of funny to put David in there, even though I didn't explain it. I put a little asterisk, and at the end, I don't know if they caught it, said, you know, that I was him. So, okay. So questions? Oh, that's so sweet. I don't think my friends could handle it, because it's been such a process. I think they're so glad that it's over, and it's kind of hard. I think what'll probably happen with it is it'll probably I'll hand it over to somebody else, and it'll become a film or something like that. And that seems to be the direction that it's going in. And our mutual friend said, you know, Bet should play your grandmother. I said, well, I don't want to be the one to tell her that. It's a real touchy thing about age, you know. It's hard when you're like older than Renee Zellweger going, oh, you know what, you should play my mom in a movie. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. So any other questions? This is fun.
You still have great legs?
I guess. Let's see. I don't know. It's still there. While it was a dysfunctional family, I was pretty much protected from all of that a lot. I mean, it didn't work in school. My mom took me out of school. I mean, it's like I didn't have to endure. I mean, I didn't endure terrible. You know, I mean, I got beaten up, and I mean, you know, some horrible things happened. But I think my personality and what my mom, I always focused on the positive and what I really want to do. And nobody that was in my inner circle ever expressed anything was wrong with it. And then I actually got involved with like performing arts, and my mom always encouraged me to be around other artistic kids. So my friends that were in the video were all, you know, performing arts and dance people, and my friend that was in dance class with me was the guy that was doing Arthur in the Afternoon, and with me is Liza and him. And so, I mean, I had friends, and I had friends my age, but they were all very much involved in the same thing. And responding to the thing about those people, it's very interesting because a lot of people have compared this film with Tarnish. I don't know if you guys know Tarnish. It's a lot longer film, and it's about a guy that, you know, had a lot of problems. It's very dark. And while there was some darkness in my childhood, I really felt like it was a great childhood, and I felt it was important that people knew that there were people were very positive and responsive, like my parents, my mom and my grandmother were towards me. So.
And this child didn't have this.
No, it's very unfortunate, but I hope that, you know, maybe maybe somebody will see it in this audience that's maybe not responsive to it, or maybe would be responsive to it, because a lot of people have seen the film that wouldn't necessarily see the film, and I wouldn't necessarily think would like it, and they actually are the people that are most positive about it, and it kind of turns people around a little bit. So maybe it could help in that way. One of the executive producers said, I think it should be like an educational film for, like, you know,
middle school.
Yeah, exactly, because that was when all the trouble started. Elementary was fine, it was middle school where I had trouble. So.
What do you think made your mother and your grandmother
open enough to let you be the way you were and to encourage you? What in their background do you think made them that open?
Well, I think it was because, I mean, they were kind of nuts. I mean, I mean, my grandmother was just sort of like the Southern Gothic Tennessee Williams type character. Who was very eccentric, and I mean, she was actually friends with the Queen Mother. He got it wrong, but she traveled the world. And when my mom divorced my father, she hooked up with my grandmother, and she and I traveled with my grandmother around the world, and we lived in all these exotic, wild places. So I think they were like very open to that. So I think actually travel probably helped that along, seeing different cultures, and seeing that there was nothing wrong with. They were very just open people in that way. I mean, not to say that my mother didn't have issues. Every now and then my mom would have issues and she'd get concerned, but overall, they were very, very supportive. So.
What are you currently doing?
Well,
Lies your time out primarily?
Well, next week I'm going to New York to see Regis and Kelly for their Halloween show, so that should be kind of fun. So I still do makeup, and I travel around and go back and forth to New York and Los Angeles a lot, and spend a lot of time in London as well. And hopefully go to a few film festivals.
Still have a desire to do further impersonations?
No, I've been asked to, and actually I might there's an upcoming film festival that I might do it for, that asked me if I would consider doing Liza like at the end of the screening of the film. I've kind of gone back and forth about it because I haven't done it in so long, so it would be a lot of work. I mean, it wouldn't be that much work, to be honest. It'd probably come right back to me. But it's just a matter of pulling all this stuff together, the costume and the wigs, and and my schedule's pretty tight. So if I can fit it in, I'm sure I'm open to it. I don't, it's just, I just don't want to really be. It's not. Well, I'll probably get known for it from the film. That's not really what I'm about today. So. That's the only reason I'm a little hesitant about that, but I mean, it's fun. I think it'll be fun. Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's very sweet of you. Thank you, everybody, for coming.